Hello and welcome. Let us discuss this question that was there in 2024 GS1 mains paper and was asked for 10 marks. That is, we have to write in 150 words. The question is, what is sea surface temperature rise? How does it affect the formation of tropical cyclones? Now, as far as the approach of this question is concerned, firstly in the introduction we will write that sea surface temperature has risen because of multiple anthropogenic factors, like increased emissions from vehicles and increased emissions from multiple industries and thermal power plants, because of which the temperature has risen and because of which there is increased intensity and frequency of tropical cyclones. So this much we can write in the introduction. As far as body part is concerned, firstly we will write about the sea surface temperature rise. If we look into the average sea surface temperature historically, it hovered around 20 degrees Celsius approximately. The global sea surface temperature was around 20 degrees Celsius. But the sea surface temperature required for the formation of tropical cyclone is around 27 degrees Celsius or warmer than that. Now, what does the data suggest related to sea surface temperature? In 2024, it touched record high, that is, it reached to 21.06 degrees Celsius if we talk about the global sea surface temperature. This was because of multiple reasons, that is, increased concentration of CO2 and also the impact of multiple phenomena like El Nino, Pacific Decadal Oscillation, and Maiden-Julian Oscillation in different parts of the globe, that is, in different latitudes of the globe. Now, what are the impact of the sea surface temperature rise on the formation of tropical cyclone? Firstly, there will be increase in frequency and intensity of cyclones. If we talk about the frequency, then let us take an example of Indian Ocean. If we compare Bay of Bengal with Arabian Sea region, then the formation of cyclone is in the ratio of 4:1 in case of Bay of Bengal vis-a-vis Arabian Sea. But because of sea surface temperature rise, there is an increased frequency of tropical cyclones in the Arabian Sea region. And recently, one cyclone, that is Cyclone Asna, was in news, which was a rare cyclone which formed in the month of August because of the sea surface temperature rise. Prior to that, only three cyclones occurred in the last 100 years prior to Cyclone Asna in Arabian Sea region in the month of August. So this is the rarity. This is happening because of the rise of sea surface temperature. Also, Typhoon Yagi is in news related to the cyclone in this region. Typhoon, cyclone, and hurricane are different nomenclature as far as different ocean are concerned. If we talk about the increased CO2 concentration, then CO2 concentration has increased because of anthropogenic factors, and it has reached to more than 50% as compared to the pre-industrial era. Because of this also, there is increased global warming, which has direct impact on sea surface temperature. That is, the atmospheric temperature is increasing, and because of which the sea surface temperature is also increasing. Now, very high sea surface temperature has been recorded in extratropics, and the indirect impact of triple dip La Nina can be seen in case of extratropical region rise in sea surface temperature. After writing all this in related to sea surface temperature, we will write about the preconditions related to the formation of tropical cyclones as well. Now, there are 4-5 preconditions required for the formation of tropical cyclones, but the most important of all is the sea surface temperature. That is, a large sea surface area is required, which has a temperature of 27 degrees Celsius or warmer than that. If we talk about the Bay of Bengal region, then usually the temperature is around 31-32 degrees Celsius in the month of March and April. So what will happen if the sea surface temperature is warmer than 27 degrees Celsius? Then there will be formation of low pressure area in the center, and there will be formation of surrounding high pressure area. Now from this high pressure area, the wind will blow towards the low pressure area, and then with the effect of Coriolis force, the wind will deflect towards its right in the northern hemisphere and towards its left in the southern hemisphere. Once it moves or deflect in the rightward direction, it will create a cyclonic vortex. That is, there will be formation of whirling condition in case of cyclones, or the air will ascend in the whirling format, in the cyclonic vortex format. As the air ascends, it will get cooled down and there will be release of latent heat of condensation. When latent heat of condensation is released, there is formation of cumulonimbus clouds and there is increased instability in the region. Because of this increased instability, there will be heavy rainfall related to tropical cyclones. So the pre-existing weak low pressure area is being created because of the warmer condition, that is 27 degrees Celsius or more. Apart from this, there is requirement of two additional factors, that is low wind shear and upper level divergence. Now, if we talk about the low wind shear, then low wind shear is there in northern hemisphere, whereas comparatively the vertical wind shear is high in southern hemisphere. That's why the number of cyclone in northern hemisphere is more as compared to the southern hemisphere. Now, what is wind shear? Wind shear is basically the difference in the velocity as we move towards the upper level of the atmosphere. Now, if the difference in velocity will be less, then the cyclonic vortex will be able to sustain, and hence the cyclone will be able to sustain. If we talk about the upper level divergence, then after ascending, this wind should move in both the direction, in all the direction in the upper tropospheric level, and the heat engine should remain on. So that's why the tropical cyclone gets intensified. So all these factors, all these preconditions leads to the formation of tropical cyclones. So after writing this or after enlisting these preconditions, we will emphasize on this point, that is large sea surface temperature is required for the formation of tropical cyclones. If we move towards the conclusion part, we can write that because of increased global warming and climate change, the disastrousness of tropical cyclone has increased. That is, the tropical cyclone has moved towards the extratropical region also. We can link it with storm Boris, and this has increased, and thus there is a need of mitigating measures which should be taken care of. That is, we should be prepared to deal with this type of cyclones. Now let us look at the value addition part as far as this question is concerned. After writing all this, if suppose similar nature question come in future, we can write some additional point related to this. So we know that CO2 concentration has increased in the atmosphere in 2023 and it has moved to around 50% more as compared to pre-industrial level. Also, the global sea surface temperature has reached record high in 2023. As compared to 2022, it has increased to 0.23 degrees Celsius. As compared to 1981-2020 average, it has moved to 0.54 degrees Celsius. And as compared to the pre-industrial era, it has risen up to 1.48 degrees Celsius. So compared to pre-industrial era or different timelines, we can write that the sea surface temperature is continuously rising. Also, normally the hottest month is recorded in the month of March, but in 2023, the hottest month was recorded in the month of September, because of which there was more number of cyclones in the month of September in 2023. Also, there is very high incidences of sea surface temperature in the extratropics because of multiple factors like 3-year long La Nina period, which we also call triple dip La Nina. Along with the rise in sea surface temperature, there is rise in salinity as well. That is, as per the salinity contrast index, the salinity has reached to a record high of 7.2 milligram per kg in 2023, which is comparatively very high as compared to the last 50 years. So in this map, which was released by Copernicus Institute, we can see that the sea surface temperature has risen in extratropical region as well, because of which the incidences of cyclone has reached towards the extratropical region as well. So after looking at all these points, we can summarize that in 150 words, we can write the introduction, which is related to sea surface temperature rise and its linkages with tropical cyclone. And in the body part, we can subdivide it into 3 parts, that is sea surface temperature rise, then its impact on tropical cyclone, and also towards the end, we can write about the preconditions required for the formation of tropical cyclones. Thank you.